In this video, I'm going to talk about Piet Mondrian, who was a Dutch painter who lived from 1872 to 1944. Dutch people are from the Netherlands. You can see on the map here that the Netherlands is next to Germany in a pretty cold area close to Scandinavia and across the channel from England. One of the things that the Netherlands is famous for is windmills. So this is an early painting by Piet Mondrian when he maybe was in art school and was doing a traditional style. So it's kind of similar climate to Humboldt in the Netherlands, where it's kind of stormy and gray and really damp and right on the ocean. So you can see all those qualities in this image. So he has taken the windmill in this series of images and abstracted it by changing the colors to non-realistic colors. But you can still see the basic shape of the windmill. You can see the individual segments on the sails. And then he gets even more abstract. You can see how he's turned the cloud patterns and changed them into strange colors and kind of outlined them and used pretty bold brush strokes, and he's getting less realistic and more abstract. So you might see how those paintings could lead to his more mature and abstract style. So this has similar colors and similar lines, and perhaps in this one you can even see the cross shape of the windmill and also the individual segments that make up the sails on the windmill. Here's a painting that he made of a farm, and you can see how he's kind of abstracted the tree branches and the clouds, and it might have led him to something like this painting on the side here, which is a lot more abstract. Here's a series of trees starting out with kind of realistic, not the right colors, but it still looks like a tree and we recognize it as a tree. The second one we might recognize as a tree, but maybe not. And then by the time we get to the very abstract point down here at the end, you're not really sure what exactly that is, but when you see it in comparison to the other images, you can tell that it is part of a series. So Mondrian also did a series of interior still lifes using ginger pots. Ginger pots were really popular in Dutch households. People kept their ginger stored in these to keep it fresh, and it was just on their kitchen counter. So you can see here there's like a cloth, a knife, cheese, maybe a book and some containers. So this is, and here's the ginger pot in the center. So it's obviously some sort of interior space, but you can still kind of make out what the images are. And the next one, it's the ginger pot again, but it's more abstract, and you might be able to see how this image could lead to something that looks like this. This is Mondrian's fully abstract style. So if you didn't see his work before, you might think that this guy has no talent and he can't paint. And in fact, when people do see this art first, that's comments that you hear made about Mondrian. But in fact, he did know how to paint. This is just kind of the evolution of his work to this kind of very minimalistic style that he actually thought about very carefully and evolved over years and years of work. So people have been fascinated over time with his artwork, and it's shown up in lots of interesting places. So here's some Nikes and some Vans and a Yves Saint Laurent dress that are made using his style. It's shown up all over the place in popular culture, like these images that you see here. So what you're going to do is make a series of 2 Mondrian-inspired Photoshop projects. Each project has to include at least one photo. One project should be made in Mondrian's most abstract style, something similar to this. And the second project is your choice, and I'd really like for you to surprise me and do something kind of unexpected, and above all, have fun. Please place both finished projects on a slide in your portfolio. Let's take a look at this one right here. I recommend that you start with this one because it's kind of maybe more straightforward. So in Photoshop, you can see that there's a white background and colored squares and rectangles made with just the marquee tool. This image, an image that I took at the zoo in Tucson, is clipped to the red, and it also has a blend mode so that you can see the red veil over the top of the image. And then all the black lines I also drew with the marquee tool and then put them all together on one uh, one layer in Photoshop. So if you make something similar to this for your first project, that would be awesome. And then for your second project, it's up to your imagination and how you can interpret Mondrian's work. That's it for now.